Hello everyone. So guys, in this lecture we are actually going to continue our previous topic that was about fossils and fossilization. So here we are going to look at the modes of fossil preservation. What are the modes in which these fossils are actually preserved? So when we talk about the modes of fossil preservation, we find that there are mainly two ways in which these fossils are actually preserved. First one, with alteration, and the second one, without alteration. Now what is this with alteration and without alteration? So when you talk about the fossil preservation with alteration, you see that here there is some change in the chemical composition, the chemical composition of organic matter, the matter which is actually going to be preserved. So in its composition there is some changes you will be finding, okay, in its chemical composition. But when you have the fossil preserved without alteration, there are no actually any chemical composition changes of the organic matter. Fine, we'll be looking at these things, how these are actually going to take place. So when you talk about the modes of fossil preservation with alteration, you have carbonization, petrification, recrystallization, and replacement. So these are the four ways in which the fossils are preserved with alteration. Now, preservation without alteration includes the use of molds and collection of indirect evidences like trails, footprints, okay, so on. And now we'll be looking at all these ways separately. Fine. So the first method we are going to look at is carbonization. So in carbonization, this method of preservation, it actually occurs in plants and soft organisms. So those organisms which are actually they don't have any hard parts in them, they are soft. In these organisms, the mode of preservation is actually carbonization. Now what happens at carbonization? Whenever the plant or animal, they died, okay, so what happened? They got buried. When they got buried, they got crushed beneath the weight of the rock. So as the organism died, it got crushed beneath a rock. Now what happened? Due to this pressure and heat process, the gases like hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, they got released in the air, okay. Now after these gases, the hydrogen, nitrogen and oxygen, they are off gassed due to this heat and compression. The only thing which is left behind is a carbon film. So this organism, it left behind a carbon film, and this was actually the impression of this organism. Fine, and this impression got preserved in the rock. So this is what carbonization is. Getting it? Now we'll look at our next method of preservation, that is petrification. What is happening in petrification? It is sometimes it is also called as permineralization. Now in petrification, what happens? This actually happens in porous materials. The process of petrification occurs in a porous materials like bone or shell. So what happens? These are actually what? Porous. Fine. So petrification occurs when a porous material such as a bone or shell becomes filled with preserving materials. So these porous shell or bone, they get filled with preserving materials. Now what are these preserving materials? Like silica, the calcium carbonate, these are called as preserving materials. Now how actually this petrification takes place? When this original shell or bone, it got buried, okay, the organism died. Now it got buried below the ground. Now below the ground there is water, fine, underground water. Now the underground water penetrates the surface. The groundwater contains calcium carbonate or silica, it depends, fine. So here we are taking it as calcium carbonate. So the groundwater contains calcium carbonate, and this calcium carbonate, a preserving material, it fills the empty spaces in the porous material like bone. So this calcium carbonate filled the porous material, the empty space in this bone, and which over time hardens and fills the pores full of minerals. Fine. Over a time, these, okay, see, like it is a bone, it had many pores, there was a lot of empty space inside it. Now it got filled with calcium carbonate fully, and over a time it got hardened, and this hardened calcium carbonate, it preserved the, actually it preserved the item. Fine. So this is what petrification is. Now looking at another mode of preservation of fossils, this is recrystallization. See, in all the methods we are discussing right now, there is alteration taking place. You can see there is a change in the chemical composition. Somewhere calcium carbonate replaces the minerals. Okay, somewhere there is a carbon film form and all the gases they are released off. Now we are looking at recrystallization. So in the recrystallization, what happens is that as time goes on, the molecules of mineralizing substance tend to arrange themselves according to the laws of crystallography. So that first the minute structure becomes altered, then the external form modified and obscured, and ultimately after a lapse of time, all traces of the organic origin may be lost and interlocking crystal mosaic is formed. And for example, let's take it as the shells of brachiopods, forams, etc. Confusing? Okay, let me explain you. In recrystallization, often it occurs in shell fossils, and is the process by which the small molecule crystal inside a shell, often formed of one type of calcium carbonate, it gets transformed to another type of calcium carbonate, which stabilizes the shell and turns it into a fossil. So here actually the laws of crystallography are taking place. I mean, they are actually started crystallizing. At first, starting from the inside, the minute structures, they got crystallized. Then after that, the external parts got crystallized. And finally a stage came when all the traces of the organic origin may be lost and interlocking crystal mosaic is formed. And the example of this is the shells of brachiopods. Alright, now looking at another method, that is replacement. Fine. In replacement, what happens? Actually, in this type of preservation, the original organic substance is completely replaced by inorganic substance, molecule by molecule. See, the name itself suggests that there is something got replacing. The name itself is replacement. So what is actually happening here? In this type of preservation, the organic material, okay, in the original organism, it is completely replaced by inorganic substances, molecule by molecule. See, it is occurred in both shellfish and wood. Replacement is when the atomic composition of the original living thing is replaced cell by a new chemical structure. See, alteration is taking place. The chemical composition itself is getting changed. So replacement is taking place in the atomic composition of the original living thing, and it is replaced by a new chemical structure. The organic structure is replaced by an inorganic substance. Fine. So typically the chemical that replaces the original is determined by the groundwater the fossil is lying in. So it depends, I mean, in the groundwater, depending on the magnetite, silica, carbon, iron oxide, calcite, sulfur. So depending upon the nature of the replacing substance, the processes are known as pyritization, hematization, calcification, dolomitization, and so on, silicification. So a common type of replacement is silicification. See, it depends upon the groundwater in which the fossil is lying. So if the groundwater contains silica, silica will replace it. If it contains calcium, calcium will replace it. It contains iron, iron will replace it. So it depends upon the composition of the groundwater in which the fossils is lying in. So a common type of replacement is silicification. In this, the groundwater may be containing the amount of silica in it. Fine. So this is when the original living remains are replaced with silica, as in the case of petrified forests. Fine. Now look at the another method, casting. Casting and molding, so they are indirect ways of preserving fossils. So indirect ways of preserving fossils means there is no alteration taking place. I mean, there is no change in the chemical composition. In this case, indirect means that the chemical composition of the organic matter does not change. Rather, it lays in a substance that makes an impression of the matter. In casting and molding, what happens? There had been disintegration and decomposition of the soft tissues as well as the hard parts, but the sediments have taken a mold or imprint of these elements before their disappearance. So a mold is the impression of an organism or an organic structure in the surrounding sediment. Let me explain you. So if there is a fossil, okay, it decomposed, disintegrated into hard parts and soft parts. Suppose there is a sedimentary rock, okay? A sedimentary rock is there and within it we have a fossil. Fine. Now what happened? The impressions of these hard parts or soft part, it got what? It actually got molded in the surrounding. Fine. The impression of an organism or organic structure in the surrounding sediment. This is what you called as mold. You get the imprints. There is no change in the chemical composition. The only thing is that it leaves an impression here. Getting it? So the common examples includes casting of fern leaves and snail shells. Alright? Now let's look at another method, that is trace fossils. So trace fossils are another type of indirect preservation of soils. Here also no alteration is taking place in the chemical composition. Fine. Now examples of trace fossils are footprints and trails. Okay, footprints, we all know what are footprints. Trails, what are actually trails? Trails are made on soft sediments beneath the surface of water. So these are irregular markings of animals formed due to crawling of worms or snails, impressions of the fins or gills of fish, or the tentacles of cephalopods. Okay, so what is happening? See, a worm or snail is moving, it leaves a trail behind it. So these are actually a form of impressions only, right? Like the dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals moved through the undergrowth and along topsoil that was later covered with other debris. So their trails, their footprints can be preserved. Okay, so in some cases their tracks were preserved and can be dug up and cut out of the ground. Another example of a trace fossil is an animal dung. Preserved fossilized dung provides fossil experts with evidence of ancient food sources and the structure of prehistoric digestive system. So in this video we actually saw what are the modes of preservance of fossils. We saw there are two methods, with alteration or without alteration. So in with alteration we saw many other ways like the carbonization, the recrystallization, the replacement and so on. And without alteration we saw there are trace fossils, trails, casting and molding, in which no chemical composition change is taking place. So these are some of the ways in which the fossils are actually preserved. In the next video, we'll be talking about the index fossils and its examples and its importance. Thank you so much.